This is lesson for Wednesday, 11/18, and we're going to be taking a look at quartic functions. And so we're talking about x to the fourth. So when we deal with x to the fourth, we're going to be doing everything we've done in this unit. So first we're going to start by doing domain range increasing decreasing intervals. So we're going to put this into the calculator. X to the fourth minus 4x squared minus 3, and then we do just like always, g-solve and then min-max. Now notice there are two minimums and one maximum, so make sure when you check the minimums that you hit the right arrow and look to find the other one. There is two of them there, so find both. And we find the maximum at 0, -3, the y-intercept, and the minimums are at 1.4 and -1.4, and they're both at the same y value of -7, which is interesting. And so what we're looking at then is finding, make a sketch. So just plot your mins and maxes and make a general sketch that looks something like that. And then we're going to find the domain. As always, domain is the same. That doesn't change for any polynomial. The range, however, notice the lowest number you can reach is -7. So it's -7 to infinity. If this was facing upside down and it was, let's say this was at 5, then it would be -infinity up to 5. Okay, so 5 to -infinity, but we'll write the lower one first, then the upper one. So -infinity up to 5 is how that would read. Increasing. You can see it increases at two places. It increases here and after here. Remember, it reads from left to right. So it goes down, up, down, up. So the up parts are between -1.4 and 0, those x values. It hits at -1.4 first. So from here up to an x value of 0. And then after 1.4, so from 1.4 to infinity. And then the decreasing intervals. Decreasing intervals are from -infinity till I reach -1.4. And then in between here it's decreasing as well, between 0 and 1.4 for the x values. So just like we did before, we just have more turns in the graph, more changes in direction. We're also going to do transformations. Now this should be easy because it's exactly the same as what we've done. It just has an x to the fourth as the parent function. I'm not going to make you sketch these, just identify the transformations. A 3 on the inside means horizontal shrink by 1/3. A negative on the outside, that's a reflect the x-axis. +5 means up 5. So that should be very easy for us at this point. And then we're going to write a rule, practicing what we learned yesterday, only with x to the fourth. So this function, we're going to translate 4 units up. So I'm going to take my function f of x and add 4 to move it up 4. So my function plus 4, combine like terms, gives me a -3 there. So here's my new function now, what's underlined in green. Then it tells us to do a vertical shrink by 1/3. So that's a 1/3 on the outside. So multiply my current f of x by 1/3. That's going to give me 1/3 x to the fourth. 3 times a third is 1. 3 times a third is 1. So here's where I'm at now, the current underline. And then I'm going to do a reflection in the y-axis. That's a negative on the inside. So I'm going to replace both x's with -x. Well, a negative to the fourth power, that's 4 negatives, that's still positive, so that doesn't change. But this middle sign does change. And then -1, and that's my final answer. We will also be doing the notation format, so taking f of x and substituting x plus 3 in for x. So if I'm starting with this, x to the fourth plus 7, now x plus 3 to the fourth plus 7. I just simply substitute x with x plus 3. And then I'm going to multiply everything by 4. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 4. Notice it becomes 28. So the 4 times 4, the parentheses times 4, but also 7 times 4 makes 28. And then I'm going to minus 2 from 28. That gives me 26. And there's my final answer. Okay? You can go ahead and start the homework, pop back into the session, work on these. This is kind of the beginning of the review. We'll do more review tomorrow. Okay?